But then this, of course, tied with the fact that he didn't have any, I hesitate to call them toy railways, and yet at that time we didn't really call them modern railways, but they certainly existed. And in the late 20s, I began to have various Hornby trains and train sets. None of them, one always looked at the advertisements in the Meccano magazine. I started with the Meccano magazine, I suppose, quite early, in 1929 or 30. But one had looked in toy shops, but were not very, not really thinking one will never have any of these beautiful big engines. But one still had a fair assortment of, at that time, Hornby trains. And of course at that time one also had various Meccano sets, though I think there were always the sets North 1 and 2, the idea of having anything more elaborate with gears or anything like that, at that time, no, one didn't. Stop for a moment.
So what could you make with the sets that you did have?
Oh, one made the rather more elementary things that were in the instruction book, the odd crane, or I think again the problem for the young at any time is if you have a construction set, you suddenly find you haven't got enough nuts and bolts to do what should be. And of course my later experience of Hornby and Meccano, and later, don't let's ignore tricks, which I'm glad to say we have a splendid collection of tricks here, because I remember my experience of the tricks was rather cheaper than Meccano, and so by about 1931-32 you could buy little, there were sets A, B and C, and they were all 1 shilling each, as I recall it, but this enabled you in fact to build up things. And tricks, if you look at the case or are knowledgeable about it, whereas Meccano always had rather well cut gears and things, the tricks tended to have single sprocket gears. They had chain. I would think one's toy cupboard had a number of different things at that time. It's about this time too, about 1930, that I had my first wooden engine, which came from, I think they were called Ransom's. No, there was the best toy shop in Birmingham at that time was situated in the Great Western Arcade, which is practically next door to Snow Hill Station, which was the Great Western Railway Station at that time. And certainly my big, I suppose it was about 3 or 4 foot long engine, which I forget, I didn't know what colours it was, but because at that time and ever since there has only really been one railway, i.e. the Great Western, we had to, somebody had to paint this engine green. Again, I think the paint, I think it may be my Irish governess who got some paint and painted it for me, and I don't think it was the right paint, and I don't think it set properly, and I do seem to recall odd smears of paint in various places. And so, as I say, one never had anything very elaborate at that time, and I suppose one, as with the majority of both children and adults, there was a longing or hankering for things that perhaps one couldn't quite afford.